All right, let me steal you guys for a minute. Just for a real quick minute. Are we on? Perfect. I'm going to have you sit here. Mickey sit here. And I'll have you sit, yeah, there, perfect. No, I'm going to have you sit here. I'll have Mickey. Where is Mickey?
You aren't going to be able to hear the numbers for your tickets, so please pay attention. We are going to roll through this pretty quickly, but I do need you to
take my tickets.
Attention.
Perfect. You
I will have my lovely assistants over here bringing you the items.
Where did he?
As we go. There are a number of sponsors here, and I just want to say thank you for those who are in the room. If you donated tonight,
you're the OG.
All of the funds go directly to the athletes. This is how they get to have the experiences to bring them where they are. So congratulations, Spaulding. And we just want to be able to really thank those who aren't here tonight to be able to do this. So, on behalf of, without further ado,
we're going to wait for this.
Cooler donated by Nelson. Ticket 50361-385. It's a green ticket. I will do color coding.
Mickey, how long you been?
Yes.
How long have you been doing this?
And raise your hand high. Kelsey will come to you.
46 years, perhaps.
You know what? You gave me anxiety when you started mentioning the 4 a.m. bus rides. I can still remember the inside smell of the old school bus. Do you guys still use the old school bus?
Somewhat.
3531.
Okay.
Janice will come find you. Raise your hand high.
Let's try to get through this. So,
all right.
This is yours. So speaking of that, when you guys, okay. I have my own right here so they can hear me. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So,
we draw again.
Tell us about the fundraising.
We'll come back
what can we do? What do you guys do for the fundraising? How do we get that going?
We do a raffle. That takes place during the year. We sell tickets at our home meets, and we'll be drawing it tonight.
554.
And we're doing an auction here for.
Do you have a website or something that people can?
Spaulding Wrestling.
Well, there's a Facebook page. It's Spaulding Wrestling. Yeah, we have a lot of the fundraising's done through the local club, Green Mountain Wrestling Academy.
Oh, nice.
So you can go to that website, and there's a donate button on there. And the ladies here that are running the fundraising, Casey Winnie, is our point person on fundraising.
So what I didn't know there was you guys pay for your own travel and stuff like that.
I know it's late, everyone.
We pay for a fair amount of it. I mean, the school covers busing or they have some Suburbans that the district owns.
We're going to keep going down the line.
But overnights and hotels, we cover that.
Man, as a promoter, we bring fighters in all the time.
Yeah.
And just the cost for hotel rooms, $300, $400 a night per person.
Yeah.
It gets expensive.
Yeah.
Super quick. We're spending $8,000 to $10,000 just on hotel rooms
to
bring fighters. So that's a huge expense.
It is
and we need 6 or 8 hotel rooms every time we go
somewhere. I want to thank her for everything she did,
especially with our team size.
So how do we get people involved to help with your fundraising efforts?
Well, we usually post everything on the Facebook page just to let the community know. We got an Instagram page, but we advertise a lot at our home matches, so we always encourage the community and supporters or people that just want to watch a night of wrestling. We got a great setup at the school with the big mat lights. It's in the dark.
Are you guys doing a regular thing with Flow Sports?
We're not doing flow yet.
I'm sorry.
No.
Yellow,
our state tournament last year, and probably next year will be on flow.
Yeah.
Our dual meets are not on.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we do have some streaming opportunities too. There's a Central Vermont guy that.
Carl Parton.
CVT Sports.
Yeah, CVT Sports.
CVT Sports.
But we do some fundraising there. We basically just get the kids out in the community trying to sell raffle tickets or doing this stuff here like we are at the banquet.
Right.
Yeah.
So getting the community involved, that's a huge thing.
Oh yeah.
That you want to do. I mean,
obviously
that's the biggest right there. So
green 4 6.
Darren, for you, how long have you been in Spaulding?
Green 4 6 8.
I got there in '93 as a freshman. And
Oh shit!
A second
I graduated in
place gift
97.
certificate, yellow.
I've been there ever since.
So you were there a
810.
couple of years after me. Then.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
So was Coach Young your coach?
810.
Actually, my freshman year, Coach Young had taken
You have
a
one.
leave
Thank
of
you.
absence, and Coach
You got
Fournier
the
was my
honey from
coach my freshman year.
Mulatoros.
Oh yeah, you guys took over
Yellow.
for a little while after when he
7,
took off
2,
over there.
And then
8.
Coach Young was my coach for
Yellow.
the
7,
remaining
2,
3
8.
years of
Yep.
high school, and I helped him for a year or two, or I guess several years.
That was my old coach, me and the Rich Boys, their father, and all that. That was how old I was.
Another legendary
We will have these up
Spaulding
here at the end
wrestling
too.
coach.
I know
yeah.
I'm going
Right.
quick.
Yeah.
I know it's late.
Absolutely. So
This lovely gift
who is
basket,
your
yellow
favorite
8, 6,
right
7.
now that you're excited to see their future?
I mean, it'd be hard to pick
The
a
honey
favorite.
themed
These
gift
are,
basket.
it's like,
With
you
a-
know, who's your favorite
Okay.
child? You know,
Gotcha.
it's, you know, we love these guys, and
We
they
have
really,
a
they really
gift
all mean a lot to us.
certificate From Hollister
I could give you a
Farm.
list of guys that we're excited
Yellow,
about, but it would be
7,
almost the size of that
4,
list.
5.
Well, we're going to go to nationals this week.
Lori,
25 of those guys are going.
That's
You know,
awesome.
it's not
like we
one
used to send
guy.
maybe one guy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, these
exactly.
guys are in.
Bergamot
They're in,
time.
and they love it, and they're. But if you're
moment of
looking for
truth
young guys,
tonight.
Wyatt Fuller, the freshman, you know, obviously he's got a bright
Blue.
future. But every
3,
single one of those
6,
freshmen won a JV
6,
title this year.
3,
So he's got great
5,
company. You know,
9,
our sophomore
3.
group is incredible. You know, our
Say it
junior
again.
group is going to be.
Blue.
You know, their next
3,
year, their
6,
senior year might be.
6,
You know, we might
3,
score more
5,
points next year with that
9,
group than we did this
3.
year.
So who's okay? On the same note, we all have one
Okay,
on the
I'm gonna
team.
get a
But who's
second
the guy
Oh,
that
Amber got it.
is the one that frustrates you the most because they have the most amount of talent
Go
and
over
they're fucking
Aaron,
wasted?
Aaron, you got it.
I'm not
Not
answering that
wasted,
question.
not wasted, but
They'll figure
who
it
do you
out.
want to see? Who do you want to see work harder and be like, just?
Simply homemade.
Oh, if you could grab a hold of them and be like, if you could see your future.
Well, he's probably not in the room yet. He's probably not a guy we know about yet.
Perfect.
You know,
Right.
there's probably a guy out here. You know, it might be Wesley Churchill's little brother. 'Cause he's in 8th grade, and I know how talented he
Two
can be.
$25
And I want him on our team.
I can remember those guys. I'm like, man, if I had that talent, I had the
7,
heart, but I didn't
7,
have that
9.
talent that some of them guys had.
Green.
So
7,
the nice
7,
thing
9.
is, we're not telling you who we think that person
Right.
is.
I don't want you to.
But
Okay.
that
They know.
person, those people know.
They know
Yellow,
because we all know. We've
7,
all been in those rooms and we've all seen those
5,
people.
0.
That,
Yeah, they know they
that
need to work
is.
harder. Why? Because they can, and
$100
because they know that they can
to
be very, very
Lacardo's
good.
To go.
they just need to put the work in.
That's all it ever
Blue.
said. What happened in 2022?
3,
Who wants
6.
to answer that? 2022. Why was Spaulding High
I'll let
School
you
not
do
the
it. So Lacardo's to
champ.
go. Blue.
the state champ?
3, 6, 6.
How did Mount Anthony?
3, 9.
Wasn't there a
2,
technical
5.
problem?
Well, it was
$100.
a tough
3, 6,
season,
6.
and there was
3, 9,
there was
2,
some stuff in the
5.
background, but ultimately we
Didn't
just
they have an unqualified wrestler that they did rule that was unqualified and he got points for him?
Okay.
Well, it's
Whatever you
you know, we kind of
Something
just
along that lines?
We
moved on.
Yeah, we moved on. We worry about the things that we can take care of, and ultimately we just we
Blue.
lost
Three,
the
6,
second ranked
6.
kid in the state,
3,
one of our
8,
guys, 2 weeks
7,
before the state tournament,
8.
and we
3,
just
8,
you
7, 8.
you want to be
Blue.
good enough to go to a state tournament or even a match and
Wiggling.
take it out of other people's
Wiggling.
hands, and
100%.
and,
Okay,
and
yellow,
ultimately we just
7,
weren't
2,
good
0.
enough that year to do that. We were missing some pieces.
There we
We
go.
were
You
missing
got it.
some we were missing a weight. We were missing some commitment
you.
from some younger guys that just hadn't bought in
Syrup.
yet, and that's all
Yellow.
normal. But at the end of the day, we just
5,
we
3.
couldn't score enough points, and we had a bad injury, and
6, 5,
it was
3,
we
yellow.
did everything we could to do it, and we were just proud of putting that effort in.
What? Okay,
So we
so
have a tanning session.
what is it that you guys changed up? What are you guys
Yellow.
doing different besides
5,
just continuing your
3,
own knowledge
3.
and your own learning? I listened to that. I noticed you guys are studying. You're still studying.
It-
That's what
you're-
makes people
no.
really good coaches. They continue
Yellow,
learning. But
5,
what else have
3,
you
3.
changed for the program from back in the 90s when Coach Young was? I mean, me and you both were under Coach Young. So
Yeah.
what's that difference besides?
I mean-
I think the biggest one is you guys added a summer club. There's for that off season.
Club wrestling's huge now,
Your husband
you
wants
know,
mechanic
and it is
sessions?
for every sport. But the biggest thing is, the biggest thing truly is not being content with what you know,
All right.
because that's what you've done for
gift
10 years or
card
20 years,
to bury
or
the
that's what your
needle.
coach did,
Passport
or
to tattoo.
that's how you ran the program. Just because
Okay.
I ran the program a certain way 5 years ago
Blue.
doesn't mean that was the best way to run it.
3,
Right, because
six,
grappling and wrestling is
six,
always evolving.
3, 5.
It's evolving, but
3, 5.
our understanding of athletes is evolving,
This is
and
the
our
$200
understanding of what's
tattoo
important to get
gift
better
card.
is evolving. And,
Blue, 3,
and
6,
the coach
3,
I am, and the
5,
coach these guys
3,
are
5.
today, isn't the coach they'll be 5 years from now. We'll look back at today and we'll go, you know, we were on the right track,
Just want to
but
make sure
we
this
were
is
missing
the-
this and this and this and this, and so it's
Not, and this is going to sound, odd to some people, but
Green.
not winning and losing,
Green.
getting better, and,
Six,
and that being
2,
the motto,
4.
if you will.
Progressing
Just get
every
better.
day, being better every
Just
single
get
day.
better.
6,
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
2, 4.
Winning will take care of itself some other time, but just get better today, tomorrow, the next day.
Okay, so I think I know the answer to this, but on the way out of here, young wrestler coming
All
up.
right. For these
What I
families,
love
for
what
this,
you say about kids.
This is
I
Jack.
hate parents that
Yellow.
push kids.
5,
It's
2, 0.
I wasn't a state champ. You
Fabulous,
have
right
to be a
here.
state
Thank
champ,
you.
and you can see parents want to live through that, and it pushes the kids right out of wrestling.
All
So
right,
I loved what
number
you said
of
about
Salon
that.
gift
But
certificates. Thank you to Janice
let's talk about a
Salon.
kid in high
The
school that
first,
wants to
the
take this
Virginia,
seriously. He wants to
Patricia
go to
Wright,
Ohio
yellow,
State. He wants to go to
6,
Penn State. He wants to go to
5, 0.
Kansas.
Yellow, 6,
What's the key to
5,
success?
0. Right here.
Showing up to practice every day.
Okay.
Every day.
Joe
And
Manning,
being
Phoenix
open-minded.
Janelle.
Not being that kid, oh, that move doesn't work for me.
9, 8, 5.
Well, it doesn't work for you because you haven't done it 1,000 times.
Right.
You don't know the move or the hold, and just needing to learn.
Okay, a
and
clipper
learn.
cut.
And
They
learn.
give up on it
Piercing.
quick. So
Yellow,
something that I learned in the
6,
jiu-jitsu room
4, 8.
especially with our guys, and I'm
Yellow,
sure you do it the
6,
same,
4,
is
8.
you'll
I
have
know
the kid
several
that
guys who may
never
need a
wants to
slipper.
lose, so they'll never put themselves in a bad position. They never want to test themselves. They always want to wrestle the smaller kid they know they can beat. They never want to wrestle
right.
the bigger kid they can
Gift
beat.
certificate.
You
Wild
know,
Rose
those
gift
guys are
certificate,
not the ones that are
$100
progressing. It's the
value.
guys that's going to put
3,
themselves in a
2,
bad
6.
position. It's going to be the guy who walks in and goes,
5,
I want the heavyweight
2,
killer.
6.
I know I'm 135, but I want to do that guy
Yeah,
because
great.
that's where it really comes in, I think. And
Our
I think
guys,
you've been at it long enough, and these guys, and you've been at it long enough.
Star from
I don't know you
Vermont.
personally. It's
Yellow,
been a while,
6,
but
6,
I think
6.
you guys are lucky. It's a
Yellow,
good team that you
6,
guys have going
6.
on.
our guys know
Yeah,
when they are
okay.
going out of state to a tournament, they know who they're probably going to run into, and they know that he's a New England
All
caliber
right,
person.
the watch.
And they're going to have their hands full, but
Blue.
some of the boys really
Three,
look
Look forward to
six,
that.
six.
our
3, 5.
our better
6,
guys on the
0.
team love
Want to test themselves.
the Coulter Abley tournaments.
3,
It's hosted by
3,
Xavier
5,
High School,
6,
who was
0 for the watch.
the best team in Connecticut for the last 5 years, and we've never won individually. We've never had a champion.
Boogie, do you have
It's
it?
their favorite
Come back
tournament
if
to
you
go
have
to
it.
because they're going to see the number 2 kid in New England, the
I'm
number
gonna keep
4
going.
kid in New England.
All right, Birchwood.
And-
What an
Thank
awesome
you.
opportunity.
Thank you
Just,
so much for this
But to
generous,
have the maturity to do that,
donation.
that's rare.
366
It's rare. And,
40
but it's not rare
38.
in our room right now,
40
which is incredible.
38.
So, I guess that
there we
boils
go.
down to how do you
Woo,
guys kill that ego? That's the problem. I mean, that's really what it is. It's your ego. Like,
Yeah.
I want to feed my ego. Now, I don't anymore. I want to go to a room full of black belts. I want to train with a bunch of killers. I want to know what they know. But how do you kill that ego
3611.
in a high school wrestling?
Blue 366.
Well, I mean, it's hard in competitive
3611.
young men and teenage boys, but you just have to show them. You just have to show them in the room.
Yep.
And
They're
after they lose, that
Classic auto.
We don't
How they act.
Certificate for
We don't
oil
care.
change.
hey, good job. This is what you did well.
Yellow.
This is what you need to work on, and we'll figure it
846.
out. And you know, we
Yellow,
preach to the boys, and we'll
846.
remind them and tell them like, hey, this is all just growth. It's all learning opportunities. It's all development.
Oil
it's not,
change, yellow,
It's not.
846.
I'm not more proud of you that if you
Landon, I think it's him.
won a
Landon,
tournament,
do you have that?
but you
Got it,
wrestled
okay.
really conservatively,
All right, another
then
classic
I would be
auto.
more proud of you
Tire
if
changeover. Green.
took fifth,
4,
but
2, 1.
you were laying it all out there on the
Green,
line, and you were
4,
giving it everything you
2,
got,
1.
and you were taking risks, and you were trying to get
Landon,
better and trying new things.
What did you do?
And I just think that, through repetition and getting those kids to realize, like, dude, we care about you no matter what happens. If you're about this sport and you love wrestling,
7, 4.
maybe you'll be successful
Green,
someday. We
7,
hope you will be,
7,
but
4.
you're really only ready to win when you're ready to win. And until that
Right
time
here?
comes, you just kind of take from the sport what it can give you and mature as a person and as an athlete.
I can say just personally, my life, like wrestling was one of the best things I could have ever done in my life. It got me through infantry training. It's got me through everything in life. I can always reflect back to that hard work ethic.
Yeah.
When something's hard, is it really though?
All right, classic
Right,
auto.
you know what I
don't
mean?
think
So,
Landon can win. Just kidding.
On the way out,
Green
you
and
guys
Crimson.
have built a program
Blue.
that works.
366.
What I would
38,
hate to see
87.
is it not continue. I hope
Blue,
that you guys are building
366,
something, a
38,
structure-wise,
87.
that somebody else can carry on. Because
Okay.
what happens, and everybody sees this in
Oh,
all
horseback
sports in
riding
Vermont,
lessons. Yes, thank you.
is you'll have a
Perfect
killer
tables.
team,
Very
and then
cool.
the next 10 years they
3,
can't win again
8,
because the guy that
5,
built that structure
6.
never wrote it down, never passed it along to the
3,
next
8,
guy.
5,
And, I don't know if
in the back
it's like
corner.
to keep that secret or whatever, but I hope that
Keep your
it's
hand
a
raised
built
if we have any
structure for future champions.
set
Like
of a
like Mount
hot
Mount
flash.
Anthony didn't just
Yellow.
one guy
8,
made a
0,
structure and then
2.
boom, the next 38 years
Yellow,
they
8,
obviously passed
0,
that down, and I
2.
hope that's what I talked a little bit with Coach
Okay,
Fornier
and
over
a
there,
silk skipped box.
and we were
Green,
talking about that the scheduling
5,
and stuff. I was like,
6,
I
7.
hope that's something that you guys can continue.
Green. 5,
Yeah,
6,
and it's probably
7.
not something I've thought enough about
Great.
because we don't
But
plan
you're
on
still
going there.
young too, man.
But
We're going back to
But-
the beginning.
but the ladies that are doing a lot of the work behind the scenes,
Okay, we're redrawing
that
for
is
the
super
auto
important for us.
detailing. I'm gonna
They
do
are
one last
thinking
call
like
on this one,
and they
because I
are,
feel like
That's
and they do
awesome.
have
fast.
a succession plan,
So you get a
and they are
bonus.
writing things down.
For the auto
And,
detail at 802
You know, and I
Honda.
think we've talked about it. We will probably do a better job of that
366,
going forward.
35,
But at the same time,
31.
I don't think
Blue,
any of us are really
366,
going in.
35,
Our coaching
31.
staff is pretty well invested.
Yeah, no.
And
Oh, seriously?
you know, we've got
you
young
weren't
guys
listening
that,
at first.
and there's kids, there's juniors right now here that they're going to be the next
I need
coaches,
to
you know,
take a
or
picture of
you know, something
For
like
them.
that. So,
Not now.
you know, it's maybe passed down through oral tradition more than it is on a spreadsheet right now.
Right.
Allison's
Yeah.
gold.
Monkey see, monkey do.
Right.
Blue,
I hope.
366,
Hopefully, but then again, you gotta
35,
wonder how they're gonna
99.
interpret things coming down through.
3599.
If they enjoy
Blue.
the sport like they do now, and they love getting better at it,
I hear it. I hear it.
I don't think it'll ever be a problem.
Oh, you're
because
I think the
it's
thing
not
about
a magic bullet.
right.
You know, it's true.
Back
It's
over
the
to the
passion.
side.
It's the
Gift
grind.
card.
It's surrounding yourself with
Green,
people you like.
468.
Because if you're doing something shitty and
Perfect.
you're
You got a
surrounded by a
runner? Can
bunch
I
of
get a
shitty
runner?
people,
Back here?
you're not going to last at it very long.
And the honey.
So
And it's not the grind you and I remember. It's
Yellow,
it's-
728.
it's
And I
a
just
technical
remembered I have
grind,
my husband.
but they love it.
yep.
And when you love it, how grindy could it really be?
Oh, perfect.
You know? Do you
Absolutely.
dread going to
My
jujitsu
husband-
practice?
Perfect.
Absolutely not.
You love it, right?
No.
So it's hard to explain it as a grind.
And the watch.
It's like-
Sorry, the guys are going
Maybe
It
it's
is,
the
but
first
it is because I've been in some bad places where I didn't enjoy Vegas.
Okay.
I'm going to call it
So
one
I
more
have been in
time.
those. I've been in it long enough
366,
that I've got enough black
368,
belts where I've been in some shitty
366,
places, and it's not fun to go
3560.
to. So it's hard to get yourself, especially when your knees are like, and you got to get up and you got to get in the car. Why do you want to put yourself through that and surround yourself with people that you don't want to be surrounded by? So that's what I meant by
Yeah,
that
make it an
grind.
environment that they want to be.
Hey, blue.
Right, a team where
366,
everybody's included. You know, that's your team. and shit like that. Guys,
79.
thank you.
Well, thank you.
Awesome
Hey, thanks for
fucking
the cover.
job.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Perfect. It was
Thank you,
awesome having you
everyone.
guys.
Oh,
Whatever
I
we
lied.
can do
No,
to help you out with
that's
fundraising,
This
just
was
let us know.
incredible.
Thank
You know, if
We're
you got
so
something
grateful.
going on,
Thank you.
hit us up. We'll blast it on air
That's
now,
great.
and we'll get it going even on our Donnybrook or our with Dante.
Thank you.
Thank you.